Modi yesterday. Both of them discussed border issues and prospects of boosting trade. But first up on the bulletin, it's going to be fireworks in the parliament as the centre is all set to table the constitutional amendment bill. Well, sources tell Times Now that this bill has strict clause that covers all, which is from prime ministers to chief ministers to union ministers to cabinet ministers in states. In fact, sources tell Times Now that if any minister or chief minister or even prime minister is arrested or detained for 30 consecutive days, they will be ousted. The caveat is that the offence under which any minister, chief minister or prime minister is arrested must be punishable with imprisonment for a term which may extend to 5 years or more. Essentially, not for any small offence, something which is a serious offence which merits a jail sentence of at least 5 years or more. Well, the amendment bill, if it gets passed, will give additional powers to the central government to remove a chief minister or anyone in his or her cabinet as well, and will also extend to the prime minister himself. In fact, this news has ruffled the feathers of the Congress party, which has characterized the move as a tactic to destabilize opposition-ruled sarkars. The Congress has claimed that the central government's decision to introduce the bill in the parliament is a desperate attempt to distract the public from Rahul Gandhi's Vota Adhikar rally, which is currently underway in Bihar. In fact, the Congress has been saying that this is going to destabilize the Congress as well as other opposition sarkars, because it is the agencies which have been misused by the BJP centre for their own political reasons, which is why they fear that this is a power which is going to be used and rather misused by the centre to attack the opposition sarkars. In fact, let's get you some of the reactions which are coming in from the opposition. Let's start with Gaurav Gogoi, the Congress MP. In fact, this is the post that he has put out. He says the bills of Union Home Minister Amit Shah are nothing but a desperate attempt to divert the attention of the public away from the blistering vote Adhikar Yatra of Sri Rahul Gandhi. First, the CSDS, BJP IT cell drama, and now these bills. This, of course, is a reference to the cephalologist who's come out and admitted that, yes, indeed, there was a misrepresentation and misinterpretation of the data which was put out. Of course, there is a police complaint regarding that as well. However, that has been dismissed by the Congress, saying that that was a conspiracy and drama which has been hatched by the CSDS and BJP IT cell, saying clearly the winds of change are now blowing in Bihar, linking everything to elections when this bill is about corruption. Well, this is going to be very interesting for us to watch out, because there are going to be 3 separate bills which are going to be tabled. But what we are also understanding is that there is going to be a JPC which is going to be formed to look into the specifics of this issue. It is not going to be a bill which is going to be pushed through in both houses of the parliament. There's going to be a JPC which is going to be looking into each and every aspect for it. But this is going to be a Brahmastra, a master stroke against corruption, if this is brought in as per the BJP, because they say this is going to ensure that the Kejriwal model, for example, models where we have seen chief ministers, where we have seen the likes of union ministers, all of them exercising their powers outside while they were inside a jail, are now going to be facing the brunt of it. In fact, let me go across to Pragya, who's joining us with more details on this. Well, Pragya, this is going to be an interesting one. The 3 bills which are going to be tabled by the Union Home Minister. Tell us, how do we see it progressing through the parliamentary procedure?
Hello?
Pragya, can you hear me? Can you tell us about the 3 bills and how we expect this to proceed in the parliament?
Well, this is going to be tabled by Mr. Ashwini Vaishnaw, who is the minister for the concerned bill. METI is the ministry that is also, introducing this particular bill. What the bill says is that any online game that has money involved is going to be banned, because there are many complaints, in fact, thousands and thousands of complaints that the minister is carrying right in his folder today while introducing this bill, said that these 1,000 complaints we have got because there are many families who have been destroyed because of the because of the fraudulent means that the money has been transacted, and also there are, this become very addictive to many kids, and there are mental challenges and psychological problems that they face, socioeconomic hazards that these money games have introduced in the society. All of that needs to be looked into. But apart from that, there is second angle, which is that there are fraudulent ways of transaction of money laundering. These sites have become platform for that, and not just that. Also, terror incitements have been done, and many of the servers are in fact abroad. So they are also sending the foreign shows have been used to, attack the Indian soil as well. Whether it is content, whether it is money transactions, money laundering, etc., etc. So all of that it has become a very big challenge for the law enforcement agencies as well. And this is why regulation was mandatory. But as far as money is concerned, government is very clear that anything that has to do with money, it is going to be an offense. No abetting, no aiding, no in fact transaction of money. And in fact, the celebrities who are endorsing it will also be banned. In fact,
yes,
celebrities won't be able to do endorsement for these apps, online gaming apps that has money transactions in it.
Right. So that, of course, is the bill which is going to be tabled today, which is going to ensure that any money transactions which are there in online gaming apps is going to be banned. Well, that is the proposal. But Pragya, I was also asking you about the bills which Union Home Minister Amit Shah is going to be regarding, which is being called as the anti-graft Brahmastra by the centre. Now, this is very interesting because you have opposition leaders who are coming out, especially from the Congress, that this is going to topple and work against the opposition-run states, and that this is going to be a law which may be in future misused by using the ED as well as the CBI against opposition.
Well, I would say that if that is the case, any law for that matter can be misused against anyone if anyone wants it. And in fact, the opposition has been also leveling this particular charge against the government ever since, there are cases against many chief ministers as well, like Jharkhand chief minister. There was a case against Telangana also. But the fact is that the government has ensured that not just the state, but also center comes under this bill. So they have taken a moral high ground, and also a stand where they are saying that even the Prime Minister comes under this bill. It is not just the Chief Minister. So there is no targeting. But if someone is arrested and detained for 30 years and for an offence for which punishment is more than 5 years, then that person has to, ceases to be a minister and step down on the 31st day, be it Chief Minister, Minister, Prime Minister, or any cabinet minister for that matter, and LG in case of UTs, governor in case of states, and also president in case of prime minister and cabinet minister has right to ensure that the minister ceases to be a minister on 31st of the day, and they can also reinstate when they are released, after a certain period. So all that proposals are there in the bill, and this is going to be tabled in the Lok Sabha is what we are given to understand, but a very big bill on anti-graft. And the government has also assured that, no matter how high the post is, any constitutional post will come under this bill. So they are not saying that we are immune to this particular bill. Even Prime Minister falls under this bill.
Absolutely. And in fact, that's a significant part. Thank you so much, Pragya, for putting all of that into perspective. But do stay on with us. You're absolutely right. Even the Prime Minister himself is going to be falling under the purview of this bill once it does get passed. But let's tell you about the government's justification. What is it that the government has been saying when it comes to the requirement for a bill such as this? The first one they have said, but before I come to you, I believe in the Lok Sabha, this bill is being tabled. Let's cut in and see what's happening there.
Premachandran. Sri N.K. Premachandran.
Sir, the House is not in order.
The question is that the leave may be granted to introduce the bill. Those in favor may say yes. Those against may say no. I think the ayes have it. Ayes have it. The permission is granted, and the minister may now introduce the bill.
Honorable Speaker, sir, I rise to introduce the promotion and regulation of online gaming bill 2025 to be taken into consideration.
Honourable member who have been permitted to raise the matters under Rule 377 today may personally hand over the approved text to the text the matter at the table immediately. Shri Kiren Rijiju.
सर, जब से ये हमारा मानसून सेशन शुरू हुआ, इस तरह का नारा ये लगाते रहते हैं और 3 दिन से कैप्टन शुभांशु शुक्ला को सम्मानित करने के लिए चर्चा के लिए बिजनेस में लिस्ट तय किया गया है। ये बहुत दुख की बात है। हमारा देश का नायक जिन्होंने अंतरिक्ष में यात्रा करके भारत का झंडा को लहरा के आया, उनको सम्मानित करने का भी मौका नहीं दिया है विपक्ष के लोगों ने। ये बहुत ही शर्मनाक बात है। आप लोग बाहर में जा करके आप देखिए कितना खराब लगता है। आपका ये हरकतें दुनिया हंसता है। अब स्कूल के बच्चे भी बोलने लग गए हैं कि मेंबर्स ऑफ पार्लियामेंट ऐसा बिहेव करता है क्या? आप सोचिए, शांति दिमाग से सोचिए। सरकार का बिजनेस तो हम पारित करके रहेंगे। देश का हक में, समाज का हक में जो काम हमको करना है, देश के लोगों ने दायित्व दिया है, हम काम करेंगे। लेकिन हंगामा करने से नुकसान होता है तो आप लोगों का ही होता है। ये सदन सबका है, मेंबर्स ऑफ पार्लियामेंट का है। इसमें सबसे ज्यादा नुकसान नए मेंबर्स ऑफ पार्लियामेंट विपक्ष के साथियों को होता है। आप लोग सोचते हैं कि हंगामा करने से कुछ फायदा होगा। जो ज्यादा हंगामा करेगा जनता उसको पूरा नकार देगा। आप लोग कोई सहानुभूति प्राप्त करने वाला नहीं है। इसलिए मैं पुनः आग्रह करता हूँ, आप लोग चर्चा में भाग लीजिए, बिल्स के डिस्कशन में भाग लीजिए। कैप्टन शुभांशु शुक्ला को सम्मानित देने में साथ दीजिए। आपके माध्यम से मैं फिर अनुरोध करना चाहता हूँ सर। लोग देख रहे हैं।
Members, I request all you all to go and sit in your respective chairs. House is adjourned to meet again at 2 p.m. today.
Well, there you have it. The Lok Sabha has been adjourned right after you had massive ruckus and heckling as well as chaos, which was kicked up by the opposition MPs. In fact, Rijiju said, who is the Parliamentary Affairs Minister, who had appealed to the opposition MPs to allow the bill to be tabled. This is the bill which is going to ensure that there is going to be, it's game over rather, for the money-based online gaming apps. But as you could see, as the minister stood up to introduce the bill, you had massive chaos being created with opposition MPs raising chants and slogans, not allowing the House to function. Let me go across to Pragya. Pragya, what just happened there? We were hoping that at least now, with barely any few days left of the Parliament session, we'd hope that some crucial bills like this one, for example, are pushed through, but that wasn't allowed today. Simply introduced, but right after that, the House was adjourned.
The opposition is very firm on this stand on SIR, and they're saying that, this is the most important issue. And in fact, this was also decided in the meeting that India Bloc had in the morning. They also needed to discuss about the bills and whether they want to speak on it, against it, and whether should they be continuing their protest against SIR. Because Rahul Gandhi is undertaking this yatra, Congress and everyone else decided that SIR is an issue that they need to, speak about it, and also they will continue this protest inside the House as well. This is exactly what the opposition did, and this is when Mr. Kiren Rijiju, Parliamentary Affairs Minister, stood up to say that you have been disturbing the House for past 30 days, and you did not even bother to participate in a debate of Mr. Subhanshu Shukla, who brought the tricolor flag from space. And this was a sentiment which was resonating among all the people of the country. And yet you decided that you will create ruckus at the House. And you also said that there are no sympathies whatsoever with the opposition who is not letting the House function. So this statement of government has been reiterated time and again ever since the opposition started this ruckus and also protest inside the House on SIR. In fact, there have been many reach outs by the Speaker's office and also by the Parliamentary Affairs Ministers to the opposition to let the House function, because they have already made it clear they cannot do any sort of debate on SIR for the simple reason that Election Commission does not fall under the purview of any ministers. So this is impossible. Despite that, the opposition is continuing with its protest, making a very big political statement. The narrative that they have started, they wanted to continue with it. And this is the reason why we are seeing the ruckus in the House that we saw in past few days also.
Well, as you can just see, the Parliament had to be adjourned till 2 p.m. The Lok Sabha had to be adjourned till 2 p.m. after massive ruckus as well as sloganeering. And again, it is the SIR which has been the point of contention. But Pragya, any kind of reactions which are coming in from the opposition, even when it comes to online gaming, even if it is regarding specifically banning apps which are dealing with money here, the opposition has grouse against it, saying that it's going to kill the startup ecosystem, isn't it?
Well, there are many like Karthi Chidambaram who has taken to social media. In fact, they're saying that the industry will be badly hit. With this particular bill, you need to understand, you also need to take industry on board. There are many complaints, from the ministry side, the industry side, And in fact, these are the people who wanted to discuss. But as clearly the party decided that the SIR is more important, so everyone has to abide by the party's dictate. So no one was able to take up this discussion in the House. And this is why, there's a dichotomy among the Congress MPs as well. They wanted to discuss many important bills, but they cannot because there's a party ruling.
Because the party whip says that you will only raise the issue of SIR, even though there are other issues with some of the, independently at least on their social media handles, Congress MPs themselves are raising. But let me go across to Bhavtosh. After all, when we are talking about online gaming apps, Bhavtosh has been tracking the probe front of it very, very closely. Bhavtosh, we've had the who's who of the cricketing world, of Collywood, of Tollywood as well, under the scanner and in the agency's nets when it comes to the illegal betting scandal. This is going to go a long way, isn't it, to ensure that cases like this don't happen in future if it does get passed.
Yes, Meghna, it is an investigation by several federal probe agencies, not for just this year alone, but for past few years. What they have found is that this year, for past 3 months, the turnover of illegal betting and online gaming has been over $100 billion, and around there have been 22 crore users who are active, of which at least 11 crore users have been active regularly. They have been using illegal betting sites, and the turnover itself is around $100 billion. On the website itself, there have been 1 billion strikes on various online gaming sites, and there have been cases of suicide only because people have suffered losses. These are some of the figures that have been submitted to the government, and that is the reason, because of the mental health issue, economic losses, that the government wanted a body to regulate illegal betting as well as online gaming. But there is another aspect as far as this case is, this entire issue is concerned, where people who are running online gaming, they have said that the government will suffer from tax losses. The government on its part has said that illegal betting has led to at least 27,000 crore of tax evasion, and they have said that there should be a regulator who can monitor all this, and they have cited several examples of use of mule account which has led to money laundering. Film stars as well as former cricketers have been called in for questioning, and what they have said is that they were not even aware that they are promoting or endorsing illegal betting or online gaming, and their investigation by the Enforcement Directorate has revealed that some payments have been done through check, which is legal, but part of the payment has been done through cash. Several other Tollywood actors have in fact taken time that they will come and join the investigation at a later date.
So these investigations are happening parallelly at a time when the government's trying to bring in a bill, a law in future, which is going to ensure that money-based betting apps are going to be banned, but skill-based betting apps still continue. Pragya is going to be tracking all the developments in the Parliament. Bhavtosh, of course, is joining us with all the details coming in from the probe agencies. Thank you, both of you, for the time being.